Always the bridesmaid, never the bride. That's my story. I've had a lifetime of being pipped to the post by other, bigger, stronger boys. Even in my first sports day, it took me so long to reach the finish in the egg and spoon race that by the time I'd crossed the line, I was actually carrying a small baby chicken. Sometimes though, as my mum said to me when I dejectedly wandered over to her with only a competitor's certificate and another mouth to feed, it's good to be a bit of a dark horse. And this can be true in video games too. You see, us gamers, we don't want our heroes thrust upon us. We like to see someone earn our respect, maybe by quietly excelling at their role or by boldly emerging from the woodwork when they're needed the most. We here at Triple Jump have had enough of the typical Hollywood-style protagonist who will be played by Matt Damon or Tom Cruise in the movie version. Ugh, screw those guys. No, we think it's time some of the most iconic supporting cast members, the less likely heroes of their worlds, had the chance to tell their own story. I'm Peter from Triple Jump, and here are 10 video game supporting characters that deserve their own spin-off. Number 10. Ghost, Call of Duty. Introduced to us in the smash hit Modern Warfare 2, Simon Ghost Riley soon won the hearts of the fanbase with his reliable ever-presence during tough missions and that oh-so-cool skeletal mask. The campaign followed Task Force 141, a crack team of the US Special Forces led by the familiar figure of Captain Soap McTavish, which is still an awful name. The Lieutenant, Ghost, was a crucial part of the group, having a large role in the legendary Infinity Ward title, but we can't help but think there was more to know about the soldier. For example, why the mask? It can't just have been a fashion choice to rival Soap's strange mohawk for coolest kid in the Corps, and where did he earn that nickname? Had he previously narrowly avoided death? Does it tie in with the choice to cover his face, or was he just a massive fan of Casper? Then again, maybe it's just that when you're working under Captain Soap, you're required to pick the stupidest nickname possible so that he doesn't feel like such a cretin himself. Sadly, as you'll know if you've played the game, Ghost meets an unfortunate and conclusive end during the final scenes of Modern Warfare 2 as he's double-crossed by General Shepard. But that doesn't quite quell the chances of a prequel, does it? Indeed, it could be exactly the story that the franchise needs right now. Number 9. Waluigi, the Mario series. It's a strangely accurate metaphor for real life that in the Mario universe, the hero's greatest nemeses are pretty much just themselves, only with a bad attitude and a penchant for darker clothing. First appearing in the N64 and Game Boy title Mario Tennis, Waluigi established himself as Luigi's rival, and the tennis doubles partner of Mario's own archenemy, Wario, which is convenient to say the least. It would be really awkward if they hated each other. Waluigi is portrayed as a cunning and mischievous man who is filled with self-pity and jealousy. Probably not your first choice of the traits for the protagonist of a spin-off, right? Well, no, wrong actually. You see, despite being equally repugnant, Wario has had plenty of success with his own offshoot games, namely Wario Land, Wario Land 2, Wario Land 3, Wario Land 4, and wait for it, Wario Land Shake It. In fact, it's no wonder Waluigi is brimming with self-pity and bitterness, being passed over that many times. He's also popular with the fans, with one article on GameRanks describing him as one of the most misunderstood characters in video games. So what the hell are Nintendo waiting for? or should I say, what the hell are they waiting for? Am I right, guys? Number 8, Frank Pritchard, Deus Ex. Frank Pritchard, or Nuclear Snake, or Knuckle 3R Snake, or Francis Wendell Pritchard to his mother, is the head of the cybersecurity division at Sarif Industries in Deus Ex Human Revolution, going on to be a freelance hacker later on in the series. A remarkable outside-of-the-box thinker, Frank's abilities almost make up for his shady background in fraud and poor relationship with some of his colleagues, initially including Human Revolution and Mankind Divided's protagonist, Adam.
I never asked for this.
Jensen. Though they struggle to get on from the outset, largely due to Pritchard's disapproval at Jensen being made security chief and his subsequent attempts to outwit and discredit the man, they ultimately become a good team, and maybe even a little fond of each other, with our frosty cybersecurity boss even asking his associate to be careful during a potentially dangerous quest. Baby steps, Frank. Baby steps. It's all positive stuff. Although Pritchard returns via DLC for Mankind Divided, we feel like he deserved even more more time in the spotlight and would love to see him as the focus of a new Deus Ex title. Number 7. Princess Zelda, The Legend of Zelda series. There have been 19 titles in the Legend of Zelda series since 1986. 19! And not one of them has had Princess Zelda herself at the helm, in any of her various forms. Had the franchise only consisted of 2, maybe 3 games, we could forgive such an oversight. But we're almost 20 games deep now, guys. Come on! Now, of course, there are current rumblings that Breath of the Wild 2 will finally give the princess her moment in the limelight, but until that game has been packaged up and plonked onto store shelves, we'll be reserving judgment. Either way, as a lady often blessed with innate psychic abilities and a kind, benevolent personality, Zelda would be an excellent protagonist, and the game in which she starred would serve as a cracking opportunity to expand the series' lore. A focus on her adult years would be particularly interesting, as she has most often been portrayed as a child or teenager until now. However Nintendo want to do it, it's about time this princess got stuck in and saved herself, or someone else for a change. We know that she has it in her, we just want to see it. Number 6. Augustus Coltrane Cole, Gears of War. Grit and intensity are the 2 words that best sum up Gears of War's Augustus Cole. A former thrashball star, which from what I can tell is like American football but more violent somehow, the Coltrane signed up to the army after Emergence Day and took that trademark grit and intensity to the battleground. The type of man to reject all offers of military promotion on the grounds that rank wouldn't affect the amount of locusts he could kill, Cole is quick to become a favourite of anyone who plays any of the games in which he features, for his no-nonsense attitude towards his enemies and his light-heartedness in the face of war. As much as I hate to say it, because this word coming out of my British mouth sounds oh so wrong, the Coltrane is a true badass, and more deserving of his own adventure in the franchise, even if the writers could stand to slightly dial back on his stereotypicality. That's an actual word, I checked it on the internet, and I'm very proud of myself for being able to use it. Number 5. Alex Vance, Half-Life 2. Let's face it, a lot of character work in Half-Life 2 is done by the supporting cast, as Gordon Freeman is what you might call the strong but silent type, and Alex Vance is one of the most endearing characters in the game. Smart, resourceful, and good in a crisis, Alex is probably Freeman's most useful and important ally, welcoming him to Black Mesa East and showing him how to use the gravity gun, as well as fighting alongside him when necessary. Although she was seemingly lost forever, frozen in time in the dark energy explosion at the end of the game, Half-Life 2 Episode 1, the confusingly named sequel expansion pack, quickly establishes that Vance was rescued and our spin-off hopes are not yet lost. The video gaming world is always in need of more strong female protagonists, and Vance is more than worthy of her own title. Number 4. Victor Sullivan, Uncharted. An aging, silver-tongued treasure hunter with a seemingly endless supply of cigars, Victor Sullivan, or Sully, provides a sense of heart to the Uncharted series, having acted as a father figure and mentor to protagonist Nathan Drake since finding him on the streets of Colombia. Sully is Nathan's right-hand man throughout the series, providing invaluable aid to the young treasure hunter and getting his hands dirty in the field whenever his aging body allows, playing a major role in multiple games in the franchise. Perhaps a potential spin-off could involve Sullivan in his younger days before he met Nate. There'd certainly be a sense of rhyme in watching him gun his way out of various scrapes in much the same way as Drake would go on to do in the games we've already played. We know that Sully can more than hold his own when it comes to a sticky situation, even in his old-ish age, so to experience the glory days of Victor Sullivan in his prime would be wonderful. And let's not forget, the whole thing would take place in the 1970s, meaning all the blokes would definitely be dressed like this. Make this game. Number 3. Garrus Vakarian, Mass Effect. Garrus is one of the standout characters in the Mass Effect franchise, and for good reason. The wisecracking, slightly nerdy Turian steals every scene he's in with a one-liner for every occasion, and if you complete his loyalty mission as the female Shepard, you'll find that for a kind of spiky, squidgy-looking thing with parts of his face missing, he has a way with the ladies that I could only dream of. Not much is known of Vakarian's past, so the door is wide wide open for BioWare to really tell a brand new story about the series' stalwart. Another potential avenue for a Garrus spin-off to go down is his time as Archangel, and the enemies he made during the period between the first two games. Whichever way they took it, there's plenty of Turian tales to be told. Try saying that 5 times fast. Number 2, Vas Montenegro, Far Cry 3. This is the man who took that profound quote about the definition of insanity, but felt the need to fill it with unnecessarily vulgar language. If it were anyone else, I'd ask them to stop swearing so much, but maybe someone else could do it for me. I'm terrified of this man. Vas is one of the most captivating villains in gaming history, and you can't help but love to hate to love the guy, or something. Think Heath Ledger's Joker, with less face paint but somehow more eye makeup. The drug-addled leader of the pirates is the secondary antagonist in Far Cry 3, but the main subject of its artwork, which makes it somewhat of a pity that it appears to be a case of one and done for Vas. Indeed, speculation about whether Jason Brody actually managed to kill Montenegro during the game's conclusion was quashed by Ubisoft employees during the Far Cry 4 Gamescom demo, who denied rumours of a potential return due to him being, and I quote, dead. Seemingly then, this would be another case of prequels saving the day and giving us a fix of that crazy man and his lovely hair set sometime before Far Cry 3's events. Maybe during his childhood, with cameos from the parents who never bothered to teach him not to swear. Useless pair of cunts. And number 1, Scorpion, Mortal Kombat. It's hard to believe that one of the most iconic figures in the video gaming old guard has yet to front his own game. Though there have been surprisingly few spin-offs from the Mortal Kombat series, other prominent characters such as Liu Kang and Scorpion's most fierce rival Sub-Zero have featured in their own titles, so surely it's only fair that we see Scorpions next. First appearing in the original 1992 Mortal Kombat, Scorpion is basically the ninja version of WWE's Undertaker, or so it says in the script, an undead spectre seeking revenge for his death at the hands of his enemy Sub-Zero. Named Hanzo Hasashi at birth, Scorpion was one of the Shirai Ryu's most fearsome warriors before he lost his life, and it's easy to see why when playing the games. His excellent fatalities and iconic styling would make him a brilliant protagonist in his own title, perhaps focusing more deeply on his time at the Shirai Ryu, depicting their battles with Sub-Zero's group, and showing us just what made him such a powerful and feared warrior. I'm seeing a hack and slash title with plenty of opportunities to pull that mask off and reveal that beautiful burning bonce of his before having him breathe fire all over his enemies. This would be so much fun, and actually I might just boycott video games until they make it. Okay, that's it. I'm not doing any more videos. Just make this game. And that's our list, but what did we miss out? Let us know in the comments below. You can follow myself and Triple Jump on Twitter here, and if you want to support the things you enjoy, then why not check out the rewards on our Patreon. Finally, don't forget to like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel. I've been Peter from Triple Jump, and thanks for watching.